When you're creating a computer program, it's a very good idea to do some planning and to set that out so that you know exactly what you're doing before you jump in and start programming. It can make the whole process a hell of a lot shorter. So what we do is we use something called pseudocode. Now, pseudo means almost, not quite. It's not quite real, but it's almost the thing. And so this is like coding, but instead of using a particular computer language, you use more of a kind of computery type speak. So it's plain English, but it's designed to look more like a computer program. So you can use the pseudocode template that I put up on Teams, and I've got one open on the screen now. So for your task 16, you're going to be choreographing a robotic dance. So the best way to approach that is to start with the pseudocode. So open up the template, and then right at the top it says comments. What does your program do? And what you want to do here is you want to write it out exactly what it is the computer is going to do. This is for several purposes. It helps clear your mind, get it clear in your mind what exactly it is that you want to do. And it helps you remember when a week from now or a month from now you come back to the program and you've kind of forgotten what it is exactly that you wanted to do. So I'm going to put this in red and italics just so it'll stand out a bit. And when you're writing out comments, you normally use those 2 forward slashes, and that in most computer languages that tells the computer to ignore it. This is for human eyes only. So what is your program going to do? It's going to be a robot dance, and what is that dance going to be? It's going to be step forward, step backward, spin round, step to the right or left, and then repeat. So it's a very simple dance, very simple steps, but they can endlessly be repeated, stepping to the forward, back, left, right, etc., and just spinning around in between. So this will tell you basically what it is that you're going to be doing. Under the section called variables, what you want to do, let's make a bit more space, is you want to write in any variables which are going to apply through the whole program. So not just in one little loop, but a global variable across the whole program. So it strikes me that you're going to be stepping forward, stepping backwards, stepping to the left or right. So if step is how far you must step, that's going to be used very often. So it's a very good idea to have a variable called step. And then if I want to make it a little bit more of a step, I would just need to change that in the program. I wouldn't have to change anything else. So the way you declare a variable is, first of all, I'm going to say var, just so that everybody knows it's a variable. And then I'm going to give it a name, step, and I'm going to assign a value. I'm going to use that sort of triangle just to show that I'm giving it a value. And let's say we're going to make it 50 centimeters or whatever it is. Okay, so do I need other variables? If I think of any while I'm putting it together, then I'll come and declare them here again. Next are functions. Now, if you remember, what functions do is it allows you to write a sort of mini program, and then something that's going to be repeated quite a lot, and then you can just call it up where you need it. So as part of this dance, one of the functions is stepping backwards and forwards. Another function is spinning around, and then you have a function to step to the left or to step to the right. So it seems to me that you kind of have 5 functions there. Now, the best way to write a function is just to say function. I was going to use red and italics. So I would just write the word function, which tells me that what follows is a function. And then I'm going to call it step forward and backward. And that's all I really need to do. I'm going to make a function which will make it step forward and backward. I'm going to make another function which is for spin around. I'm going to make another function for step to the right, and another one for step to the left. Okay, and that's probably enough. Maybe I would have one for whatever's displayed on the chip face if you're using a microbit or something like that, LEDs which must light up, but I think that's enough for now. Here in the template are just some examples of how to write out a loop. So repeat 4 times X, Y, Z, and if you're doing an if and else, then if, and then this is the condition. So if you're happy, then smile, else, frown, and you're ending that if statement. And that's how you would write out an if in pseudocode. So now we come to the pseudocode part itself, where you write out what the program should do. And we have these functions already available. So I'm just going to change this a little bit. I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to call it function fallback. And then I'm going to say end function. And then I'm going to have function spin, and that's going to spin around, and then it goes end function. I'm just writing this out so it makes a little bit more sense. Then function step right, or step to the right, end function, and then function, so step left, or step to the left, and then end function. So when I come to writing out what the program can do, I've got these functions already available, and it's called function spin, function step right, function step left, etc. And then I can just write out what the dance is. So my dance would be basically, what did I call it? Fallback. So I would just say, I'm going to do a fallback. I'm going to do a spin. Ooh, I wanted it, italics, etc. So a fallback, spin, step right, no, step right, you do fallback again, you do your spin again, and you do your step left. Then all I would need to do to put this together is write the code for each function and then call it up on a particular prompt. So my prompt here would be, for example, button press A. When the A button is pressed, what's it going to do? It's going to do a fallback, a spin, a step right, a fallback, a spin, a step left, and it's back to where it was. And that's all I really need to do. That would define a simple dance step. Try the pseudocode, and I'm sure you'll find that it's going to really, really help you when you put your program together. So open up the template on Teams, think about your choreography, discuss it with your pair, with your partner, what it is you want the robot to do, and then try and set it out in pseudocode to make the programming that much easier when you've finished.